From figure skaters doing backflips to ski jumpers caught in injection scandals to a viral pierogi plushie, the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics were anything but ordinary. This play's worth a second look, so let's put it under review. Welcome back to Inside the Review Room, where we analyze every moment, story, and person shaping the world of sports. My name is Helena, and today we're revisiting all the viral moments from the 2026 Olympic Winter Games. These games were historic on many fronts. Record medal performances, emotional victories, bizarre viral moments, and yes, a fair share of controversy. The 2026 Winter Olympic Games featured 2,900 athletes from 92 countries competing across 116 events. It was a showcase of grit, speed, artistry, and occasionally the weird and unexpected. The top countries in the final medal count: Norway led the table with 41 total medals and 18 golds, breaking its own Winter Olympic record. The United States finished second with 33 medals across sports like speed skating, hockey, and figure skating, and Italy, the host, had a huge home games with 30 medals, marking one of its best winter performances ever. Now onto some viral moments from the 2026 Games. In cross-country skiing, 29-year-old Johannes Klaebo didn't just dominate Milano Cortina, he rewrote Winter Olympic history. Johannes swept all 6 events he entered, winning 6 gold medals at a single Games, the most ever at one Winter Olympics, breaking a record that had stood since 1980 when Eric Hayden won 5 in Lake Placid. That brings Klaebo to 11 career Olympic gold medals, making him the second most decorated Olympian in history, behind only Michael Phelps and his 23 Olympic gold. And what makes this run even more incredible is that 4 years ago in Beijing, he finished 40th in the skiathlon and didn't even compete in the 50 kilometers. But now, he's the Olympic champion in both. When he crossed the line in the 50 kilometer, part of a full Norwegian podium sweep, the emotion finally hit. 6 golds, 1 Games, 11 total. That's not just Winter Olympic greatness, that's all-time Olympic territory. American figure skater Alysa Liu didn't just win gold, she won the internet. Her routines were calm, controlled, almost unshakable, but it was everything around them that sent the internet into a frenzy. The deadpan kiss and cry reactions. In figure skating, the kiss and cry is the area right beside the rink where skaters sit with their coach after they perform, waiting for their scores to be announced, her Gen Z humor in interviews, and especially her hair. Alysa dyed it in circular patterns, taking inspiration from tree rings, growth, resilience, and time. She said she plans to keep adding more rings as she grows, a living reminder that every season of her life leaves a mark. Within hours, clips were everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, X, and her following exploded into multi-millions overnight. She wasn't just winning, she was resonating. And the backstory made it even bigger. Liu was a prodigy, the youngest US national champion at 13, raised by her single father Arthur, who built his life around her skating dream. She became the face of American figure skating, then shocked the sport by retiring at just 16 after Beijing, saying she was burnt out and wanted to experience life beyond the rink. She stepped away for 2 years, then she came back, older, freer, skating because she wanted to. At Milano Cortina, she was someone who came back grown, literally and symbolically. 6 years after becoming a teen phenom, she stood at the top of the podium, rings in her hair, adding another one to her story, and that's why people couldn't stop watching. Now we finally witnessed a curling fight. You wouldn't expect curling, arguably the most civilized sport on ice, to bring scandal, but that image cracked when Sweden accused Canada of an illegal stone touch during a crucial end. The Swedish side claimed a Canadian player had made contact that could have altered the shot. The Canadians pushed back, and suddenly, a sport built on honor and etiquette had a full-blown confrontation unfolding in front of a global audience. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Slow-motion replays, lip-reading breakdowns, curling controversy trending across social media, and fans who never watched a match were debating stone movement physics like analysts. What made it explode wasn't just the argument, it was the contrast. Curling prides itself on integrity. Players are expected to call their own infractions, so when Sweden publicly questioned Canada's touch, it felt like a rare breach in the sport's code. Polite, usually. Civilized, almost always. But this time, curling had its chaos moment. Both the US men's and women's ice hockey teams made history with epic overtime wins over Canada, including the first American men's Olympic title in 46 years. It was one of those classic USA-Canada moments that instantly became part of Olympic lore. But the viral highlights didn't end with the gold medals. After the victories, both teams received a congratulatory phone call from President Donald Trump, and what might have been a routine presidential tradition quickly turned into a lightning rod online. During the exchange, an awkward joke about gender parity, referencing the women's team in comparison to the men, sparked immediate debate across social media. Some fans saw it as harmless banter, while others viewed it as tone-deaf, especially given the long history of the US women's hockey team fighting for equal pay and recognition. For critics, it reopened conversations about respect, equity, and the way women's sports are discussed at the highest levels. Suddenly, what became as a pure sports triumph turned into a cultural and political flashpoint. It became one of the biggest stories of the Games, not just because of what happened on the ice, but because of how quickly the celebration crossed into politics. In an Olympics already packed with drama, this was the moment that reminded everyone that in modern sports, the conversation rarely ends with the final whistle. Free skier Eileen Gu was everywhere, from podium highlights to viral interview soundbites to her unreal beauty. She added another Olympic gold in the halfpipe to an already stacked resume, once again delivering under pressure. But with Eileen, the story was never just about the tricks. Born in the United States and raised between San Francisco and Beijing, Eileen made the headline-grabbing decision to compete for China, a move that sparked intense debate back home. To some American fans, her choice was seen as a betrayal, with critics labeling her everything from opportunistic to a traitor for representing China instead of Team USA. Others defended her, pointing to her dual heritage and her right to embrace both sides of her identity. So every medal she wins carries extra weight, every interview becomes dissected, and every confident candid comment goes viral. At Milano Cortina, Eileen Gu didn't shy away from the spotlight, she leaned into it, composed, self-assured, and fully aware of the conversation surrounding her. And once again, she proved that whether people cheer her or criticize her, they're always watching. And then there was Jutta Leerdam, who didn't just win gold, she owned the oval. The Dutch speed skating star delivered a statement performance on the ice, powering her way to Olympic gold with the kind of confidence that makes it look inevitable. Clean start, flawless stride, and when she crossed that finish line, it wasn't just a victory, it felt like a coronation. But the internet wasn't talking about her time on the clock, because watching from the stands and lighting up social media was Jake Paul. Cameras kept cutting to him, his reactions went viral, and every celebration clip turned into a meme within minutes. For some fans, it added Hollywood energy to an already electric win, and for others, it blurred the line between elite sport and influencer culture. Either way, it amplified the moment. Jutta's gold would have been massive on its own, but with the global spotlight, celebrity buzz, and social media frenzy around it, it became one of those Olympic victories that crossed out of the sports world and into pop culture. Indian skeleton racer Vladislav Herskevich found himself at the center of one of the game's most polarizing moments, not for his run, but for his helmet. Vladislav wore a tribute design honoring fallen Ukrainian athletes amid the ongoing war, a deeply personal and national statement. But officials ruled it as a violation of Olympic rules, prohibiting political messaging, and he was disqualified. The decision ignited instant debate online. Supporters argued it wasn't politics, it was remembrance. Critics said the IOC has long maintained strict neutrality rules and applied them consistently, and once again, the Olympics found itself walking the tightrope between global unity and global reality. In a sport measured in hundredths of a second, this wasn't about time, it was about symbolism, and whether the Olympic stage can ever truly be separated from the world outside it. One of the most inspiring moments of the 2026 Games came from Haiti. Stevenson Savard made history as the first athlete to represent Haiti in Olympic cross-country skiing at the 2026 Winter Olympics. Born in Haiti and raised in France, Savard carried the Haitian flag at the opening ceremony and competed in the men's events with pride. He wasn't in medal contention, but when he crossed the finish line, the crowd erupted. The clip went viral because it captured what the Olympics are really about: representation, resilience, and simply earning your place on the world stage. One of the most buzzed about moments of the 2026 Winter Olympics came when Lucas Bratton made history for Brazil and all of South America by winning a gold in the men's giant slalom. He clocked a combined time that beat reigning Olympic champion Marco Odermatt by over half a second, earning Brazil its first ever Winter Olympics medal, and it was gold. The emotional moment wasn't just about the medal, it represented a breakthrough for nations without a traditional winter sports pedigree, and sparked celebrations across Brazil, with fans and leaders alike hailing it as a milestone in Olympic history. At 41, Lindsey Vonn came out of retirement, determined to prove she still belonged on the Olympic stage. But she wasn't healthy. Just 9 days before the downhill, she completely fractured the ACL in her left knee, and her right knee already contained a partial titanium replacement. But still, she raced. 13 seconds into her Olympic downhill run, she lost control at high speed and crashed violently. The crowd went silent, and within minutes, she was airlifted off the course by helicopter. Afterward, Lindsey Vonn revealed she suffered a complex tibia fracture, which was stable but severe enough to require multiple surgeries. Her latest procedure marked the 5th operation related to the injury, 4 of them performed in Italy in the days following the crash. The images of the fall spread instantly, and so did debate. Some critics questioned whether she should have competed at all, given the torn ACL and the strain on an already surgically repaired knee, while others saw it as an ultimate embodiment of Olympic grit, the same relentless drive that defined her career. For Lindsey Vonn, it wasn't about nostalgia, it was about belief, that even at 41, even with titanium in her knee and a torn ligament, she still had one more run in her. Instead, it became one of the most dramatic and controversial moments of the Games, a story about resilience, risk, and the razor-thin line between bravery and danger. One of the lighter viral highlights from the 2026 Winter Olympics wasn't about a medal, it was about real life. Canadian figure skater Madeline Chizis made headlines on social media when she shared that she needed an extension on a university assignment because she was competing at the Olympics. The post, complete with an email to her professor and a press release as proof, quickly turned into a viral meme about the everyday grind of student athletes at the Games. Fans loved it as a reminder that Olympians still juggle life outside of sport, even while chasing their dreams. One of the most wholesome viral moments from the 2026 Winter Olympics didn't involve a medal at all, and quite frankly not even a person. It involved a dumpling. The Polish team brought along a plush mascot named pierogi, inspired by Poland's iconic pierogi, and it completely stole the show. Athletes were spotted carrying the plushie during medal ceremonies, interviews, and even posing it dramatically in the snow. What started as a lighthearted team joke quickly turned into a full-blown social media phenomenon, phenomenon, with fans tracking Pierog's Olympic journey across events. It became symbolic of team unity, Polish pride, and the kind of quirky human moments that make the Olympics more than just competition. Even Snoop Dogg wanted to get into the action. One of the most viral moments of the 2026 Winter Olympics came from American figure skater Ilia Malinin, and it wasn't even part of his routine. After delivering a gold medal performance, Malinin capped it off with a spontaneous backflip on the ice, a bold, crowd-igniting move that instantly lit up social media. Broadcasters replayed it, fans clipped it, and athletes from other sports reposted it. It wasn't choreographed for points, and it wasn't strategic, it was pure adrenaline, and it became one of the most defining celebration moments of the 2026 Games. One of the most emotional moments of the 2026 Winter Olympics came off the ice, and it involved the family of Johnny Gaudreau. He starred with the Columbus Blue Jackets and was a fixture on the US national team. Tragically, Johnny and his brother Matthew were killed in August 2024 when they were struck by a suspected drunk driver while riding bicycles near their hometown in New Jersey just before his sister's wedding and months before he was expected to play in Milan Cortina. During Team USA's gold medal celebration, cameras caught Gaudreau's young children in the stands and later on the ice, holding their father's number 13 jersey as players and fans honored his legacy. That image of his kids in Olympic colors alongside the champions he helped inspire became one of the most touching and widely shared moments of the Games. It reminded everyone that behind every jersey is a representation more than just the sport itself. One of the most bizarre viral moments from the 2026 Winter Olympics didn't happen on the course, it happened right after it. After winning bronze in the men's 20-kilometer biathlon, Norwegian biathlete Sturla Holm Legrade gave an emotional post-race interview in which he tearfully admitted to cheating on his girlfriend 3 months earlier, describing her as the love of his life and saying it had been the worst week of his life. The confession, broadcast live on international TV and quickly shared across social platforms, instantly became one of the most talked about off-ice moments of the Games. His now ex responded publicly, telling Norwegian media that it had been hard to forgive and that she did not choose to be thrust into the spotlight because of his actions, a reminder that some personal mistakes aren't resolved by medals or public apologies, and that viral moments often have real people behind them. It was one of those wild Olympic clips people couldn't unsee, part human drama, part public spectacle, and it sparked major conversation online about vulnerability, accountability, and where the line between private life and global spotlight should be drawn. One of the most bizarre viral controversies of the 2026 Winter Olympics became known online as Penisgate or Crotchgate, an eyebrow-raising set of claims around ski jumping. Before the ski jumping events, a report in a German newspaper alleged that some male ski jumpers were injecting hyaluronic acid into their genitals to temporarily increase the size of that area when being measured for their competition suits. A larger suit could theoretically provide more lift and aerodynamic advantage in flight. The World Anti-Doping Agency said it would monitor the matter if any evidence emerged, but the International Ski Federation dismissed the specific claims as wild rumors, noting there's no confirmed proof athletes actually did this. What's clear is the story spread like wildfire online because of how unexpected and outrageous it sounded, and it sparked major conversation about ski jumping rules, measurements, and how far athletes might go for an edge. The 2026 Winter Olympics weren't just about who stood on podiums. They were about stories that resonated beyond sports. Social media outbursts, memes that dominated timelines, debates about representation, and unforgettable emotional moments. From historic records to viral dog runs, this year's Games were a reminder. Sports isn't just about competition, it's culture. So let me know what your favorite or trending viral moment was in the comments, and with that final whistle, we close out today's review. Thanks for stepping inside the review room, and I'll catch you in the next one.